How's everyone doing? I still don't have an apartment just yet. I'm waiting to try and score one. Just paperwork's taking a while. Um, it was an interesting morning, to say the least. So I gotta fly out from. I was supposed to fly back home to Appalachia on Friday, meet up with my wife and my kid. Hopefully, by that point, having an apartment for us, and then spend a couple days just getting everything loaded up into a moving company's truck or whatever, and then riding out with my wife and my kid. We were just going to take the one car. I was going to leave my pickup truck. I don't think my pickup truck would actually survive the trip. And it was going to be me, the wife, the son, and my wife's parrot on a long 30 plus hour trip. Bird. It's pretty old. But that kind of got thrown into flux because the new company, we'll call them XYZ. XYZ, everyone's been fantastic to me. It's a little weird working for such nice people. Um, it's almost like dealing with, it's just weird. They're so nice and friendly. Because where I used to work for this Japanese American company, like a lot of just a seething cauldron of angst and just everybody at each other's throats and so on. You never had, you couldn't show weakness kind of thing. Here, everyone's like super nice and friendly. It's a smaller company, a lot smaller company, but like everyone's super nice. And so they're kind of bringing me in to be like a medium voltage superstar kind of thing because they only had one older guy doing a lot of the medium voltage work. And so they were very interested in hiring me because my experience working medium voltage, plus all my contacts that I have with all these other different industries outside of this company's Ballywick, you know, XYZ's pretty excited about having me on board because I know so many different people and so on, and I've been doing so much. Well, it's kind of funny. There's a huge project starting Friday, going for like 2.5 weeks, where it's like 30 or 40 medium voltage drives. Not the most difficult drives to work on, but still, it's a lot of work that this older gentleman was supposed to do by himself. Well, since they got me on board, they're like, Mike, we're going to send you out there. We're not going to charge the customer because we'd already signed the contract, but there's a lot of drives, and so and so would really appreciate the help. And I was like, no, it'd be great because it would bring me up to speed, and I don't really need to get back to Appalachia. Still waiting to hear from like the apartment complex kind of thing. So this will probably work out. Talked to my wife. My wife said it was okay. Come this morning, my XMY or XYZ is doing all these email change and stuff with my old employer, detailing who that I'm going to be basically the project lead, yada yada yada. They're writing down my full name and then they're including like a hyperlink for my email if they have any questions, kind of thing. And out of the blue, John Henry, because he's somehow tied into this project somewhat. He's like, "Oh, Michael Smith's not available. Uh, he's been. We had to let him go with cause. He no longer works with us, so he's not available to assist." And of course, my new boss is like, "Yeah, yeah, no. What are you talking about?" Well, he's been fired with cause. Right. Okay. Well, you don't worry about that. Well, you know, this is the individual that's going to be running the project on our end. And I guess John Henry must have replied something like, well, I guess we're talking about two different people, which of course they're not. So he ends up eventually texting me. And he's like, hey, can I give you a call? To which I replied, no, don't call me. I'm busy. He goes, are you working for, XYZ? I go, yes. Are you going to be working on this project? And I go, yes. You can't work on this project. I go, yes, I can. No, I'll take care of this, but you're not working on this project. Oh, okay. Well, around lunchtime, my new boss asked me to step into his office and shut the door, which is really weird because he's one of them bosses that like he never shuts the door. He's very bright or very bubbly. He's the antithesis of me. He goes around like every hour on the hour, just checking in on people, just chatting, and he's a really really nice guy, which is I'm totally not used to. Um, he's like, hey, could you shut the door? Okay. So I sit down, and he's like, who is this John Henry guy? Well, I was like, you know how I explained that I got fired? And I was fired by an idiot with like a 2 year degree in visual arts who was an HR manager. Uh huh. That's the guy. Okay. I was like, why? Well, he sent me about 35 emails in the last hour and a half demanding that you don't work on this project or else there's going to be issues. I said, well, look, I don't want to cause you guys no issues. You guys have been great to me. I could try to help remotely. If he's saying anything about like a non-compete, I did not sign one of those things. And my new boss, we'll call him like Bo. Bo just slaps his hand out. He's like, Mike, stop. Even if you signed a non-compete, that wouldn't be applicable here because we're not competing against them. We're being employed by them. I was like, yeah, but that kind of makes him the customer. If you don't want to use me, I guess you can't use me. He goes, I don't give a shit what he wants to do. And it was the first time I ever heard a Mormon use the S word. I don't give a shit what he wants you, what he wants. He's like, moving forward, I don't want you to have any contact with him. If it's an email, if it's a phone call, if it's a text message, you send him to me. I don't want him interacting with you or anyone else at this company. I really don't appreciate his behavior. I was like, yeah, you're not the first one. He's like, well, listen, I want you to get prepared for this job. It's going to be pretty busy. I was like, all right. And he's like, and I already talked to the end user. They apparently know you. I was like, yeah, I've done most of their equipment. He goes, yeah, as soon as I dropped your name, they were really, really happy. So I'm like, whatever this idiot is saying, he ain't got no say in nothing. I was like, oh, that's good to know, Bo. Appreciate it. So it was a nice, validated kind of day until I got back to the hotel and I found out that my wife's parrot finally died. And she's kind of an emotional wreck. She's had this bird her entire life, I think, ever since she was a kid. And I'm sure my son's not handling it. I'll even admit, I kind of grew attached to the bird once she stopped biting me. But I think my wife had her for like 34 years or something like that. So she's not handling it well. And truth be told, if me and John Henry were in the same time zone, I'd probably go to his house right now and kick open his door, or drag him out into his front yard and just savagely beat him half to death in front of his family. Just because of the amount of pain and anguish of my wife losing her beloved pet, and I'm not there to console her. I feel like a real piece of shit. I feel like a real piece of shit, and I feel like taking it out on him. And this, kids, is why when you're diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder, aka sociopath, you need to go to talk therapy, carefully monitor it, and learn how to modify your behavior so you don't do things like this. Otherwise, I'd be in prison for, attempted murder or at least malicious wounded. But it is amazing how much your life can get blown up by one stupid shithead who doesn't even know what the company does. It's fucking amazing. And then he's got the nerve to keep trying to fuck with me. Like, it's what's irritating is I'm never gonna get the closure. I'm never gonna get the closure. Um, I'll never find out who actually made the call. I don't believe John Kelly made the call. He doesn't have the pull. This guy is lower than the dick on a centipede. Like he no he can't even order he can't even change out an empty toilet paper roll in the office. Yet somehow he's able to fire the senior most field engineer. Uh huh. I still have that theory that they're shutting down the whole U.S. operations with the exception of just solar. I'm really looking forward to a hurricane just slamming into Houston and wiping out his stupid house he just bought if he doesn't get fired ahead of time. Because again, I don't know what he's going to do as a field service manager who doesn't have any field service personnel. But I don't think he's smart enough to think 2 steps ahead. At the end of the day, he's going to get manipulated and fucked over just like I was. He's just not going to be able to bounce back from it because, again, he's got a 2-year degree in visual arts or some shit. And he's been working a job that he's woefully overqualified or underqualified for, and he's not good at it. So where the fuck is he going to get a job in Houston? He's not. And he's going to be stuck with a brand new fucking house. He's probably so eyeballs deep in debt. It's unreal. I'm just pissed off. I should be at home consoling my wife, and I'm not. I'm on the other side of the U.S. So I'm pretty pissed. I don't feel like drinking or nothing. I don't want people worried about me like that. I'm just I'm just angry. And unfortunately, this hotel doesn't have like a decent enough exercise equipment to keep me busy. Say la vie. It is beautiful here in Utah. I will say that. And the people are very friendly. It's on par with Appalachia how friendly people are. It certainly beats some of the other locations I was getting job offers were like what is it? Like the Bay Area or not the Bay Area. What is it? Long Beach. Long Beach Terminal wanted me. Vancouver Terminal wanted me. A mining operation out of Montreal wanted me. These are all places I didn't want to move to. A couple places in Atlanta wanted me. I'd rather put a bullet in my head than live in Atlanta. But it is what it is. You know, I feel bad for my wife because I know she's heartbroken. Doesn't matter that bird probably lived 15 fucking years longer than it was supposed to. Bird did have a pretty good personality. Ornery bastard. I think he hated everyone but my wife. But it is what it is. God, I hate John Kelly. I hate him with a passion of a, or John Henry, excuse me. I don't know why I said Kelly. John Henry. I hate fucking John Henry with the passion of 1,000 suns. Just, yeah. Hope you're all doing well. Y'all take care of each other. Ciao.